Kellogg's is an American company founded in 1939 that nowadays has manufacturing presence in more than 19 countries in 4 continents. Their line of products are over 40 different types of cereals. Their products are sold in more than 160 countries. Developing their supply chain was vital for the existence of the company. They needed to develop a system that worked in a global way. They created a complete formula over the years with the help of softwares and third parties. Before I explain the result of the whole process, I'm going to develop some areas that were necessary to develop the supply chain that Kellogg's has nowadays. In this specific case, we are going to talk about America, more specific, the United States of America, involving a little bit Latin America. The process is very similar in all America. The Anglo business culture is characterized for being serious, competitive, with leadership, discipline, and cold in the negotiations. The Latin American business culture is characterized for zero competitive, cooperative, and warm in doing businesses. Having similar characteristics like accomplishing our goals, being capitalistic countries, and loving business gave the American product the chance to enter in Latin American countries. Nowadays, Kellogg's has operations in Mexico. The most important trade was the North America Free Trade Agreement, in this time better known as TEMEC. Basically, this trade gives the opportunity to eliminate the barriers, decrease the taxes, and increase the globalization between Mexico, the USA, and Canada. With the full function of this trade helped to increase the opportunities to export products and invest in fabrics in other countries like the products plant in Mexico. Also, acquiring the raw materials became easier and it helped to reduce the cost of them. Clusters and local economies are a very important part in the process of Kellogg's. Talking about the primary sector, some of the sectors that we can find in Latin America are the following. In Mexico, we come with a very huge cluster of aerospace industry, developed in Querétaro with the establishment of production plant from the company Bombardier, investing $150 million. Also, Mexico comes with a huge local farming, and many of the Mexican farming is exported to the other countries, like the avocados that thousands and thousands are exported to the USA every year. Another one was the Chile cluster of salmon. In the USA, some of the clusters that exist are the automotive industry in Ohio and Michigan. Another cluster is the USA in the oil and gas industry in Texas. So clusters were a key to Kellogg's establish their production plants according to the clusters and local economies. Kellogg's isn't involved in the primary sector as a seller. Kellogg's is the buyer to obtain the raw materials like corn, wheat, and sugar to produce the requirements that the retailers make. Kellogg's is a secondary sector business, and they sell their products to the tertiary sector. Their R&D department expands the range of cereals to cover the market. They consider several aspects. Where to locate business. Kellogg's locates their manufacturing plants near the distribution channel and customers' products can reach the shelves quickly. Size and scale. Kellogg's creates the adequate space for equipment, production processes, and delivering of income materials and outgoing finishing goods. Where and how materials and finished goods are to be stored until needed for sale, Kellogg's comes with just in time. That means that they don't have production is packed and ready for immediate distribution. Where its customers are, intermediaries like wholesalers, retailers, supermarkets, street stores, and hotels. For the logistics, they come with the service of a third party called TDG that specializes in logistics and distribution. But Kellogg's is also involved in the tertiary sector, even though it isn't a business of secondary sector. Once they sell their products to the retailers, Kellogg helps them to promote a good relationship between the consumers and its products, creating this place. Talking about culture and diversity, Kellogg's considered these two factors in the developing of their new products. They come with 40 different types of cereals in order to reach any kind of person, creating flavor for everyone. Kellogg's constantly creates new cereals because they say that the new generation have different tastes and they need to gain the new markets to continue existing. The demographic part is vital to accomplish the purpose of the company. That's why Kellogg's establishes their manufacturing plants near the distribution channel. They come with several manufacturing plants all around the world, like Mexico, the USA, the UK, Canada, etc., establishing production plants all over the world, accomplishing the internationalization of Kellogg's. The financial framework in the USA is regulated by the government. Basically, the USA comes with a Federal Reserve System, which is responsible for regulating the US monetary system. They monitor the companies, including the banks, and they promote established prices and economic growth. They also come with a Department of Treasury, which manages with the government revenues, influences fiscal policies, regulates imports and exports, and collects the taxes. Kellogg's needs to consider that changes that the Department of Treasury makes, so Kellogg's can follow the regulation and procedures to do businesses with the correct regulation and maintaining a transparent enterprise. Politics and policies inside Kellogg's are several. One of the most important policies that has with their clients is maintaining a just-in-time process. That means that they are only going to send products to their clients when it's necessary so they can maintain a low stock and reduce the costs. Nowadays, Kellogg's is involved with the Food and Drink Federation organization for food and drink manufacturers to improve the environmental performance by reducing levels of packing to consumers, impact of transportation, waste of landfill, etc. Kellogg signed an agreement to improve water efficiency, reduce wastage, and cut CO2 emissions in their supply chain. One of the Kellogg solutions was to share delivery services with Kimberly and Clark so they can reduce the carbon emissions. As we can see, Kellogg has been having a lot of modifications in the way their processors are made. Kellogg's is a great example of how we can reach an excellent supply chain, being friendly with our environment. Never is too late to begin making changes.